Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with She Cruises. Hope that you're doing great today, cruising perhaps somewhere in the world. But if you're here on this channel, you almost certainly are someone who loves to cruise. And we have got some really cool ideas and lots of great plans coming, and I'm so happy to welcome you here and always welcome your comments. Please leave your thoughts and your feedback in the section below, and let's sort of build a community here together. Now, cruising for me is so much fun. It's so relaxing, and I haven't done that many cruises, to be honest, in my life, but the ones that I have, I've followed some rhythms, some patterns, and a kind of a checklist of things to think about. And I'm going to go through these with you, and hopefully they'll give you some inspiration if you're a first-time cruiser or maybe just beginning to get into the cruising way of life. Now, the obvious thing about cruising is that you want to have fun, you want to stay safe, and you want to enjoy either new places in the world or to meet new friends. And honestly, cruising can do all that for you. It's not for everybody. There's a range and spectrum, though, of cruising that would meet your personal needs. River cruising is very different than ocean cruising, and ocean cruising with 900 people is very different than 5,000 people. So you kind of choose the cruise that suits you. And but these 9 or 10 principles apply to any kind of cruise, and to a smaller or greater degree. So here's just to get started. The first thing is read all the small print. I know this is overwhelming because every time you get a contract from anyone, it's not just cruising, you just skip over that 3-page document, and then you think, wow, I didn't see that. So always check out all the terms and conditions so that you are not surprised, especially cancellation, deposit, return of your deposit if you have to change for any reason. And before you pay your cruise deposit, it's better to check the fine print first. Understand all the cruise line policies, and just be informed. Shore excursions, for example, know when you're going to be in places so you can plan accordingly. Just do your homework. That's the first thing, and it's obvious. I mean, I don't need to really reinforce that one. You pretty much know that's important. The other thing to do is to always buy travel insurance. Now, the cruise lines do offer cruise travel insurance, and you can certainly take that up. But I always find that taking out a separate travel insurance policy is a good thing, because you can get a whole spectrum of coverage. You can get things just from basic, travel medical help in an emergency, or you can get something that's broader than that. Now, if you live in the States, remember that Medicare does not work when you're outside the United States. So you can't assume and depend on that to cover you should you have any medical emergency when you're away. There's also one type of insurance that is really important to consider if you have any challenges. So it's called CFAR, is cancel for any reason. Now, this is an option that some travel insurance companies will offer, and you really have just to be careful with this, and it's expensive or more expensive. But if you're worried about hurricanes or bad weather or anything that is maybe on that list but not too high but still on your mind, then get the cancel for any reason insurance. It's a really good decision to make. Now, when you get on board, here's some ideas. Now, packing is always one of those challenges, whether you're traveling on a train, a plane, or a ship. What to take in your suitcase. The thing about for me is I've written about this separately, and how I always try to keep my clothing down to about 12 or 13 items. And then in addition, half my suitcase honestly goes to technology, my special just-in-case bag with my, knee brace and all these little things that I know I might, or I think I might need. Not know, but half is just clothing, maybe 10 items. But if you start by thinking about one thing, and that is to carry a suitcase on a, whichever one, wheel or backpack, whatever, but then also have a small carry-on that's like a shoulder bag. It could be just a little a little mini suitcase, but take something that's got things to do before your luggage gets to your room. Take a book and all your medications, things that you do not want to lose in this small bag. I carry a backpack. And in that backpack is what I described there, plus my laptop, my chargers, my converters. So I literally could be productive and sit down and, have one change of clothes, even just a new, top or leggings and a book. And I always take a book, a hardcover book. And that's definitely a number two. The second thing is to think about how you're going to create multiple clothing styles from different things you take. So think about, we talked about this often, having a color scheme, whether it's black or gray or navy, and then accessorize that with color. So I always take something that's red or bright, coral color, a turquoise. These are my colors, of course, I love them. But take, basic pants, like 2 or 3 max, 2 or 3 t-shirts. Take a throw, something that you can throw around your shoulders that keeps you warm on the ship, and also just in the mornings when you wake up and you want to snuggle a bit and stay warm. I would take fabrics that don't wrinkle easily. That's pretty much a no-brainer, but don't pack something that you know is going to require a lot of help. If you get something on it that you'd have to have it dry cleaned, just take things that you know you can maybe wash in your sink or rinse out if you get a stain, and just take just some really comfy clothes. In addition to your tops and bottoms, I would also take personally one dress. I like to have just one dress that I can wear for dress up or just a nice occasion, or if you go to the specialty restaurant you want to look a little special. Do it in a way that you can combine. So for example, you can take a dress and put a top over it and turn it into a skirt. Or the way around. You could actually just use the top of your dress and a skirt. But be creative. Take a sweater that you can turn around and wear it backwards. I have a couple of beautiful buttoned t-shirt or sweaters that I made that I can wear from the front, with the buttons down the front, or around the back with a V-neck with sparkly buttons. You can do things like that, and take a couple of scarves that you can accessorize either in your hair or around your neck or just around your waist. Things that just change up the outfit a bit. So that's enough unpacking. I've got a completely different article on all of that, so you can check that out. When you're on board, there's a couple of things to remember. One is to always secure your stateroom. Always lock your stateroom. If you've got a lanyard, you can buy them on the ships a lot now, but you can also just purchase one yourself. I think mine cost $2. One of those neck sort of, almost like a necklace, but it has a little clip on the bottom, and you can put your room key on that. And then you always have it by your side, because you need it as you get on and off of the ship always, and just keep your door locked on your stateroom. I mean, I know there's not a lot of theft by the staff, of course, but they can get access to your room. They have the master keys. So just be thoughtful. Keep your valuables, if you've got anything really special, in the ship safe, if there's not one in your room. Another thing on board is to stay clean and healthy and wash your hands all the time. I'm just noticing my necklace is crooked. I bought this in Bali. I love this necklace. But anyway, the idea of always washing your hands after you're eating, or you go to the bathroom or whatever, but don't just depend on the hand sanitizers. Washing your hand is so much better. 20 seconds, get bubbles, really clean your hands. Shore excursions are another thing that's interesting. They have a lot of things already organized. Some cruise lines combine them, or actually include them in the price of the ticket. But most do have them as optional. And so when you get to a port, you have maybe 3, 4 or more options. And they can be expensive. And if you're on a budget, check out doing shore excursions with a group. Now, you almost certainly will meet other people, other women that you chat with over lunch or coffee, and just say, where are you going when we get to Valletta in Malta? And let's maybe meet up for let's just at least go together into town and have a coffee and then meet there to come back to the ship, just to get that security. Now, sometimes you just want to go, and that's fine too. But mostly, if you're on your own, I would advise just teaming up with someone, or at least letting someone know where you're going and how you're getting back. Getting back is important, because the ship will leave without you. We know this from news stories recently. The couple came back, 45 minutes late as their ship was pulling out, and they were waving, panicking. But anyway, you just get your short excursions. There are some places like Viable, and there's a few others that offer tours where you can actually go and meet up with someone who's been vetted. You know, it's a reputation-based system, and they will take you somewhere that you might want to go for a few hours, and they'll get you back to the ship on time. But, you know, you've got to kind of do a little bit of homework there. Another thing, I didn't mention it earlier, which is important when you're getting started with the cruise, is to always try to get to the port, the embarkation port, a day early. Get there, like if the ship leaves at 3 the next day, get there the night before if you can. Because if you leave in the morning thinking you've got to be somewhere by 4 that afternoon, your flight could be delayed, weather could interfere. So always try to get to the embarkation point a little bit early. That's kind of a cool thing to do. Now, the other thing is on the ship, we'll go back to the ship now. Another tip that I always think to myself is to have fun, you know, just relax, whatever you've gone on board to do, read, relax, have a drink, have several drinks, but try not to overindulge. And I'm not like being Mother Margaret here, but I'm just saying, you know, just know the reality that if you're going to drink too much, you're going to spend too much. You're going to also maybe feel not so good if the sea gets a bit rough. So, or maybe that's how you drink to get over the seasickness. But whatever you do, just be conscious of your boundaries and of what's, you know, just so that you don't do anything that you will, you know, feel badly about. And the savings is a big deal, by the way, because the drinks can cost a fortune. I think that's 10. I think I've gone through all the ones that I was going to cover, but most important is just to have fun. And if you've got any suggestions for, you know, tips for first-time cruisers or just things that you think would be of value, please let us know. Just, you know, leave your comments in the section below, and we can, you know, we can add them to our checklist for the next article that we do. So happy cruising, everybody. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. And thanks again for supporting She Cruises. Tell your friends, and just know that you're welcome here. Let's have fun together on the high seas. Take good care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.